हरे कृष्ण ज्ञानतिमिरस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. Sorry, yesterday there were some network issues. So we'll continue our discussion today. So here we are seeing how I will not revise today. We have seen, but the Lord is trying to help all of us understand very important instructions. So he's telling that living entity in whatever species of life he appears finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species. So he will be very happy with the tongue, with the nose, with the eyes. So every species have some uniqueness, and that type of enjoyment is actually the cause of our bondage in this material world. Narkastopi deham vai. Pumang त्यक्तुमिच्छति नारक्यां निर्वतुं सत्यां devamaya vimohitah. So the conditioned living entity is satisfied in his own particular species of life while deluded by the covering influence of illusory energy. And he feels little inclined to cast off his body even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. He is not trying to get affected. So we discussed what is hell yesterday. The state of lust, greed, pride, anger, envy. That is actually the hellish conditions. So geographically there is some hell, but even the state of mind is also hellish condition. What state of mind I am? I can remain in hell. That's why when Prabhupada says London is hell, is not just meaning geographical location. He's telling the state of mind. Of course, geographically also because there is no sun, people are very dull, very depressing places, very cold countries. It's actually very depressing, and people are just interested in being in more tamoguna. And then we discuss the standard of consciousness should be improved. Everyone is satisfied with the standard of living in the sense standard of living at that level of consciousness, not in terms of growing consciousness. And we discussed yesterday how after the age of 15 when we understand things we feel that we know everything. That's why after 13 years 14 15 years all the parents have this experience. Even I have my experience with how I stopped listening to my parents. I said, no, I know everything. I don't need. Then we stop growing in consciousness also, but we need to grow in consciousness. That is the challenge. The people don't grow after that. And such satisfaction with one's standard of living is due to deep rooted attraction for body, wife, home, children, animals, wealth, and friends. In such association, the conditional soul thinks is quite perfect. This is the deep rooted action body. The brain, it takes 15 years for it to form. You form all sorts of patterns. Say, suddenly some object is coming to me, I stop. No, this is a reflexive axis. How did it come? I did not think, okay, some object is coming. I should lift my hand and put like this. I am not thinking. Suddenly the hand goes like this. Why it goes like that? Our hand is trying to protect. From where this is programming of our brain. Our brain immediately notices. Like now the temperature is very cold here. No, no. Immediately we want to go wear something warm. Now, how does this programming? This is program of brain only, and it takes till the age of 15. And once it grows, then it knows I know everything. Finish. So this is what. Of course, we go on reading the purports. We'll understand it's much more deeper. But we have to go ahead also. I'll not go to the purport again. You get new points on the purport. This is very interesting. And every time you read, you get the new points. And then always is, although he's always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities with a hope which is never to be fulfilled in order to maintain his so-called family and society. But this is hope is actually which never dies. So with a hope which is never to be fulfilled in order to maintain it. Everybody is hopeful, and the family we maintain is created by Maya. So Prabhupada is very honest here. Family, society, friendship are flickering, and so they are called asat. And then he says he gives heart and senses to a woman who falsely charms with him with Maya. This is another thing. Actually, Lord created woman in such a way so that she can attract the mind and senses of a man. Why? The programming, the senses are and the sense object. The combination is made so tightly. That is the system that Lord created because he wanted to increase the progeny in this creation. Now he has to create a automatic system. Every time he need not come and tell, okay, create some living entities. He created in such a way, eyes of man and form of ears of man and form of woman, voice of woman, they match. Like we have this, there should be some matching of the items. Like if you make a house, you should have matching colors, matching furniture, matching wardrobes, and the all these curtains, whatever you prepare, it should be proper matching, then it looks nice. So similarly, the Lord created in such a way. Actually, Brahma, four Kumaras asked Brahma, Are you created the sense and sense objects such a perfect match. And like that is how it is creation. The option is of course now they are getting attracted in a wrong things also, but the system is created in that way. Yeah, the sign Katha was telling this is top class artificial intelligence. So this is the system so nicely. And thing is, Kumara's complained to Brahma, Are you created in such a way, the senses and sense objects, there is no way that a living entity can come out of it. Even an old person at the age of 70, 80 also, he can get attracted to a form of, the attraction don't go only because that is a needed actually, that is need for the creation to happen, so system is created. Now I want to get out of it, then you have to come out of that situation, that's all, so simple. If I want to continue in a system, I follow the system is get attracted. I want to come out of the system, don't get attracted. I don't want to be in the system. I want to get out of the system of this metal creation. The three modes of metal nature, they are created. So passion is always existing. It makes sure that we all get attracted to something in this. Even like food items, the sense objects like tongue and mango juice, they're perfect match. You take it immediately, tongue is so satisfied. Tongue is so happy. You give mango juice with some no some dry fruits and some either little milk and all. So it's very satisfying. The connection is so strong. So this here, the connection is made in such a way. Even though there is nothing, it's all dead matter. But there is some sort of connection that is made in a very subtle level. That is the energy of Maya. That is called Maya. The false charms with Maya, the energy which attracts. Like if it can be like he enjoys solitary embrace and talking with her, and he is enchanted by the sweet words of the small children, and this is the only pleasure he will experience. And for this, the sweet words of the small children and talking with in a solitary place with a woman and sweet words of children. This is the only pleasure that is there. Once the children become big, then even that pleasure is not there, unfortunately. And the woman also will not be so attractive what she was when she was young. And but what happened to him? This is actually very important also. The initially he's attracted, and that time the pleasure is given. But later on, the pleasure is taken away. Woman is no more attractive, the children are grown up. Now, what happens for him? That helps him to understand the reality of life and start focusing on something higher. He understands, okay, this is the enjoyment I got. Now let me focus on something higher things in life. Let me focus on, instead of again settling in this material world with all the same things, it is advantage only. No? Like you enjoyed for something and after that you understood there is no much I have done sufficiently. Be satisfied. Go ahead. So Prabhupada right? Family life within the kingdom of illusory energy, Maya, is just like a prison for the living entity. In prison, a prisoner is shackled by iron chains and iron bars. Similarly, a conditioned soul is shackled by the charming beauty of a woman, by her solitary embraces and talks of so-called love, but by the sweet words of his small children. Thus, he forgets his real identity. But that is for some time. Then he has to come out and move ahead, do something good in life. In this verse, the word Strinam Asatinam indicates that womanly love is just to agitate the mind of man. And today I just got a call from a friend in the morning, and half an hour it went. And the problem is this only, that he is engaged, but no, then there is some misunderstanding. So I had to do counseling. Okay, adjust, don't worry. There is a fight between boy and girl. So we are like neutral people. So we get calls and we have to settle the issues. Yeah, I told, I know. Without any experience, we can tell some things because you can give principles. Okay, just no problem. And many of the people, they just know the solution, but they want to hear from somebody. That's all. Actually, in the material world, there is no love. This is a very happy news for all of us. We can pay millions of dollars for giving this news to Prabhupada. Maybe we can give this life as a gift to Prabhupada by saying this word. Babajan, there is no love in this material world. Such a happy thing. So don't need to try. People are watching movies, people are doing all these things just to get this love. But there is no love only. So no need to try. Which is not there, you will not get anyway. But the women and men are interested in their sense gratification. For sense gratification, women creates an illusory love. So if somebody says, I can give up everything for the sake of love, then what do we should understand? It's an illusory love. The husband and wife, illusory love, reality. And man becomes enchanted by such false love and forgets his real duty. So he should understand that no, this is such an important instruction, such a nice information Prabhupada is giving. There's no love only. Happy. Yeah. Why happy? We need not waste time for that. We are adjusting, cooperating, living together. But it's just attachment only. This is actually not love. Whatever we call it so-called love, it's actually what? Attachment. And we considered attachment as love. Uh, and I'm not giving brahmachari class, but I'm repeating what Prabhupada is telling, so don't get offended. I'm just reading what Prabhupada is saying. So it's not my words. And the man becomes enchanted by such false love and forgets his real duty. When there are children as a result of such combination, the next attraction is to the sweet words of children. So I also, when we travel in train and some go to some houses, this is, I feel very enchanted children. But we don't, we just, we see from distance and say Haribol or touch their hand or something. But the people who are staying with them constantly, they must be really enjoying it. The love of women at home and talks of children make one a one a secure prisoner, and thus he cannot leave his home. Such a person is termed in the Vedic language as Grihamedi. Actually, Grihamedi is it's actually a very good title. Prabhupada is using it in a different way, Bhagavatam language. But otherwise, in normal Vedic culture, Grihamedi is a very responsible human being, a very responsible householder. But here the word is used in a different terms, which means one whose center of attraction is home. Grahastha refers to one who lives with family, wife, and children, but whose real purpose of living is to develop Krishna conscious. One is therefore advised to become a Grihastha, not a Grihamedi. The Grihastha concern is to get out of family life, created by illusion, and enter into real family life with Krishna. Whereas the Grihamedi's business is to repeatedly chain himself to so-called family life in one life after another and perpetually remains in darkness of Maya. Actually, this instruction will inspire women also because she understands that my husband is in illusion and she want him to get out because if he gets out, for her also there is a hope. That's the system. And she want, and no, initially woman will be happy if a man is attached to her. But later on she will feel disgusted. This fellow is attached. He should make advancement spiritually and become detached. And that will help her to progress. And for him also it is better. It is not actually, that's the more responsibility is with the men too, because he is leading and he will take. This is the varnashram system. Of course, when it comes to bhakti, woman has her own responsibility independently too. But always, if man is very serious, it is advantage for the whole family. They will all take it more seriously. But now Kali Yuga, the systems are different. गृहेषु कूटधर्मेषु दुःखतन्त्रेष्व अतन्द्रितः कुर्वन् दुःखप्रतीकारं सुखद्वयन् मन्यते गृही. The attracted householder remains in his family, which is full of diplomacy, politics, and constantly spreading miseries. Restricted in his acts of sense gratification, he acts just to contract his miseries, and if he can successfully contract such miseries, he thinks that he is happy. This is every time, no, problem after problem, problem after problem. One you solve, another comes. Once you solve, another comes. This is actually what happens. And there is full of diplomacy because you have to deal with relatives. There is politics because you have to deal with the people around your work place, professional place, and constantly spreading miseries that comes from the family, from relatives, from friends, from the colleagues. Everywhere it is there. And what happens? Restricted in his acts of sense gratification. Like say, I want to go for a movie with my whole family. Suddenly phone call comes. Your mother is sick. What that poor fellow will do? He's so miserable. One is he's miserable because his mother is sick. Another misery is he's not able to enjoy his planned trip, whatever he made a trip to go to some place or movie or anything. So both causes more misery. And then he acts just to contract these miseries. I have like sometime like I have a friend. He he got divorced. So there was so much problem. Then he got married. Then what happened? Mother became sick. Then he was settling it. By the time mother is little, and then wife became sick. And then mother died. And he was so unhappy. And then wife was also admitted in hospital. And then now he got a child. And now things are little settled. Settled till when? Till the child grows. So he went through so many miseries. Divorce was such a big misery. I had to counsel, nothing happened there. That broke. And then I had to talk to the parents, and then again marriage, and again I talked to the new wife, and then we tried to settle the things. And but at the time, both wife and mother were in hospital. I felt so sad for him that how much he's struggling. And where is the question of sense gratification? He cannot enjoy only. So the payment that they get little sense gratification, but sometimes the miseries are so bad, and it's so painful also. You cannot. I want to do some things I cannot do. Your office, so many people are doing politics and diplomacy, and you come home and you want to watch your TV and enjoy some food, but the thoughts of the office, the politics which they are doing for you, there is some things that are happening that always trouble, and then there is some trouble from wife and children, and no, children is not studying properly, or when they grow big, no. So there is no much sense gratification. Anyway, you know much better than me, but be as a neutral, I see sometimes I feel sad, right? Such a miserable place. But why he's continuing? Because of one reason: false identification, attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead himself certifies this material world as an impermanent place that is full of miseries. See, Lord is telling. There is no question of happiness in this material world, either individually or in terms of family. So, this is a very good news for all of us. Lord himself is telling there is no happiness. If you are not getting, we should not think others are getting, only it is happening to me. Nobody is getting. What happens is people see some movies and all these film stars and all. They are professional people. Please understand this word. They are very professional people. Professional in acting. In real life is same for everyone. They're very professional in acting. Real life is same for everyone. This is the reality. It is same only because they have to deal with their mind. They have to deal with their children. They have to deal with their husband. They have to deal with their wife. In general, life is everybody is same only. No happiness in this material world, either individually in terms of family. But this is an arrangement of Maya by showing they are very professional people. They can act as if they are very happy. And that gives everybody some hope. Why people want to watch movies again and again? Because that gives them a hope that somebody is happy, maybe it will work for me in future. If something is going on in this name of happiness, that is also illusion. See, all these movies and all, something is going on in the name of happiness, that is also illusion. Here in this material world, happiness means successful contraction to the effects of distress. So, Prabhupada's nice statement. He's telling happiness means successful contraction to the effects of distress. So one distress after another will come, you just have to contract. Any successful person, there is this distress only. Even you may be the king of the big country, you will get the problems of that level. The material world is so made that unless one becomes a clever diplomat, his life will be a failure. Not to speak of a human society, even the society of lower animals, the birds and bees, cleverly manage their bodily demands of eating, sleeping, and mating. Human society completes nationally or individually, and in the attempt to be successful, the entire human society becomes full of diplomacy. We should always remember that in spite of all diplomacy and all intelligence in the struggle for our existence, everything will end in a second by the supreme will. Like yesterday, I was talking to a devotee. He said, Proji, my mother, within 1 hour, she just got some breathing problem. 1 hour, she left her body. Everything was nice in his family. Everything was going nice. Suddenly, she got some breathing problem. Within 1 hour, they took her to hospital. They said, she's no more. Can you imagine? Everything was proper. Within 1 hour, the whole life changed for him. If no, it's that's what everything will end in a second by the supreme will. We should not be proud. That's the reason. Whatever situation we are, always remain humble. It is safe. We cannot boast for anything because we don't know what will happen next moment. No, we are. Therefore, all our attempts to become happy in this material world are simply a delusion offered by Maya. अर्थैरापादितैर्गौरव्या हिंसत् हिंसयेतस्ततश्च तान् पुष्टानि येषां पोषेण शेषभुक् यात अधः स्वयम्. He secures money by committing violence here and there, and although he employs it in service of his family, He himself eats only a little portion of food thus purchased, and he goes to hell for those for whom he earned the money in such an irregular way. Corruption is so much now. It is talking about the people who are very corrupt. And in India, the government job, they pay so much money to secure it, especially some departments. And what happens then? So much corruption. They take money. They don't understand that they have to pay for it. Unfortunately, that education is not given. Why in the previous ages the dharma is like no, so much is talked about follow dharma, follow dharma. Because if you want to enjoy, that is the legal way of enjoying, and these are all illegal. In Prabhupada, right? There is a Bengali proverb: "The person for whom I have stolen accuse me of being a thief." The family members for whom an attached person acts in so many criminal ways are never satisfied. In illusion, an attached person serves such family members, and by serving them, he is destined to enter into a hellish condition of life. Actually, this is a very important point. You may have noticed. The family members for whom he has attained, the family is never satisfied. Even you earn illegally or legally also, family is never satisfied. This is a good, what do you say? Uh, it is good news for who is struggling. They should know they are not going to satisfy. So in that way, what happens now is anxiety reduces. Like one friend of mine, he was having so much, no, this problem with wife and other things. So he went to an astrologer. Astrologer told one thing. He said that until you are alive, your wife will never understand you. He said that was the greatest advice I got in my life. And he said, after that, I was so happy because there is no way that she will understand me. So, what is the point in trying? Let me live the way I am. I know, and things will go on. And that is actually, it's one way good only. If you know that they are not going to be satisfied, you don't unnecessarily we make some attempts, but after that, you can be free, take time and practice your Krishna consciousness happily. Anyway, it is not going to work. What is the point in fighting a match where you are going to anyway lose it? Of course, this material world like that, you cannot stop fighting, but you cannot win also. But at least some mm, preparation of mind will help us to focus on something higher. So instead of wasting our time, a family which is not going to be satisfied, why don't you spend your time in satisfying Krishna, who will be satisfied just patram pushpam phalam toyam. In illusion, an attached person serves such a family members, and by serving them, he is destined to enter into hell only. For example, a thief steals something to maintain his family and is caught and imprisoned. This is the sum and substance of material existence and attachment to material society, friendship, and love. And uh, there's a question. Some people say, even if we can't win, we should try our best. This, yeah, this is what is the motivational speakers they give in this metal world. That Krishna tells this is foolishness. We should use whatever is available. We should use our time in Krishna consciousness. Why to waste time in something? Which actually this advice now we followed all these lifetimes. Now we should be intelligent. Don't follow that advice. We should use our time in Krishna consciousness. Don't try for that. Like this is summon substance of material existence. This caught in the prison. Existence and attachment to material, society, friendship, and love. Although an attached family man is always engaged in getting money by hook or by crook for maintenance of his family, he cannot enjoy more than what he could consume, even without such criminal activities. And they earn so much, they try to satisfy. Like there is a big fraud that happened in India, and I was hearing from somebody. So he was telling that uh, that person he's cheating so many people. Why and what he's doing with that money? he is trying to impress some celebrities. He's giving gifts to the celebrities. I was thinking, no, just to, because that is what is happening, He is so caught up in cheating for what? To impress the people who don't love him anyway. They are just interested in the things which he is giving. And then he is in the India's biggest prison now. and he's just caught up with this obsession. He wanted to, he's spending for all the celebrities. He wanted to attract that woman, unfortunately. And they are no least interested in him. He is in the prison. Now, will they go and meet him? They will never meet him. They will never call him or they will never talk to him. Even though he might have spent, crores of rupees on them, they are least interested. I said, you go to hell. You gave us finish. Now we will enjoy and you are in the prison. And that's all. They don't bother only to help him come out or anything. It is not possible. So this is actually what is happening. The sum and substance of material existence and attachment to society, friendship and love. Although an attached family man is always engaged in getting money by hook or crook maintaining, he cannot enjoy more than what he could consume even without such criminal activities. So if I have uh, every month, if I have 1 crore rupees, I'll not be able to eat so much. Even 1 lakh rupees also I cannot eat in a month. If I eat, I will die very fast. People die quickly not because of eating less, because of eating more. More diseases we get eat by eating more than eating less. And most of the people have this problem. Obesity and all these things is because of consuming more. They have money, but because the senses are not controlled. That is the greatest danger. What is happening is after their college education, immediately some people they get a very good package, they get a good salary. What happens is, but the senses are not controlled, so they go on consuming many things, and consuming their eyes, ears, and tongue, and then they damage themselves. We cannot give. That's why Shudras are not given money only in previous ages because they will only do sense gratification, and now everybody is given money, and everybody does the same thing, sense gratification, and they destroy themselves. A man who eats 8 ounces of foodstuffs may have to maintain a big family and earn money by any means to support that family. But he himself is not offered more than what he can eat. And sometimes he eats the remnants that are left after his family members are fed. Even by earning money by unfair means, he cannot enjoy life for himself. That is called the covering illusion of Maya. So, this is actually what is Maya. The process of illusory service to society, country, and community is exactly the same everywhere. The same principle is applied even to big national leaders. A national leader who is very great in serving his country is sometimes killed by his own countrymen because of irregular service. And this happens also. Like, recently some countries, the dictators, they had to run away from the country. Are be grateful. Something he did for the country. No, throw him away. In Bangladesh, where that she served for so many years. Then they throw her away. Now she has to stay in another country. Can you imagine what an embarrassing situation for her? No, when she comes to another country, she was getting red carpet welcome. And now she just have to hide in some country because she cannot go to her own country. This is actually, that's why we should be humble all the time because we cannot be take it anything for granted. One cannot satisfy his dependence by his illusory service. Although one cannot get out of the service because servant is his constitutional position. A living entity is constitutionally part and parcel of Supreme Lord. So instead of serving all these illusory things, why not serve Krishna? No, but he forgets that he has to render service to Supreme and divert his attention to serving others. This is called Maya. By serving others, he falsely thinks that he is master. The head of a family thinks of himself as the master of the family, or the leader of a nation thinks of himself as the master of the nation, whereas actually he is serving. And by serving Maya, he is gradually going to hell. Therefore, a sane man should come to the point of Krishna consciousness and engage in the service of Supreme Lord, applying his whole life, all of his wealth, his entire intelligence, and his full power of speaking. Okay, thank you all very much. Please forgive me if I got. I'll just read two, three shlokas. It's good. When he suffers reverses in his occupation, he tries again and again to improve himself. But when he is baffled in all attempts and is ruined, he accesses money from others because of excessive greed. So he takes loan. All these EMIs will be going on. Thus, the unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of all beauty. He always thinks of his failure, grieving very deeply. Seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with the same respect as before, even as miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn out oxen. So, not only in a present age, but in the time immemorial, no one has liked an old man who is unable to earn in the family. Even in the modern age, in some countries, in some communities or states, the old men are given poison so that they will die as soon as possible. In some cannibalistic communities, the old grandfather is sportingly killed and feasts is held in which his body is eaten. The example is given that a farmer does not like an old bull who has ceased to work. Similarly, when an attached person in family life becomes old and is unable to earn, he is no longer liked by his family, sons, daughters, and other kinsmen, and is consequently neglected. What to speak of not being given respect? It is judicious, therefore, to give up family attachment before one attains old age and take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should employ himself in the service of Lord so that the Supreme Lord can take charge of him. He will not be neglected by so-called kingsmen. So give up family attachment before one attains old age and take shelter of Supreme Lord. So this is the instruction Prabhupada is giving, very important instruction. Okay, we will take one more shloka. The foolish family man does not become averse to family life, although he is maintained by those who he once maintained. Deformed by the influence of old age, he prepares himself to meet ultimate death. The proper family attraction is so strong that even if one is neglected by family members in his old age, he cannot give a family affection and he remains at home just like a dog. In Vedic way of life, one has to give up family life while he is still strong. His advice that before getting too weak and being baffled in mental activity, and before becoming deceased, one should give up family life and engage oneself completely in the service of Lord for the remaining days of his life. It is enjoyed, therefore, in the Vedic scriptures that as soon as one passes 50 years of age, he must give up family life and live alone in the forest. After preparing himself fully, he should become a sannyasi to distribute this knowledge of spiritual life to each and every home. Actually, by the time people settle in life, it becomes 40 years. By the time they get married, they're getting married at the age of almost 30, and then they want to plan for the children. And then when the children grows, and by the no the children are born only late, so then by the time he's in 50s, he still is continuing the family responsibility. So it is, presently the age should be changed. It should be 60 years because they are not able to settle. The education system is like that. Previously, marriage is like no Madhvacharya time, 8 years they got married, 10 years marriage is done. The marriage happens only after, people even don't think of marriage till the age of 25. What to speak of getting married? And then after that, they have to settle, then they have to have children. It's actually quite a tough thing now, comparatively. So thus he remains at home just like a pet dog and eats whatever is so negligently given to him, afflicted with many illness, such a such an dyspepsy and loss of appetite. decepts this basic. He eats only very little morsels of food and becomes an invalid who cannot work anymore. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you all very much. And please forgive me if you got offended, 'cause just repeating what Prabhupada is giving there. Right.